great good morning, everyone. It is a beautiful Thursday, February 19, year of our Lord, 20 and 26. My Cordaro Jewelers watch says it's 9:15 a.m. This is the Bob Cordaro Show. I am he. Broadcasting today from the United States of America, the place for the brave. Like veterans, we salute today thanks to John Basiliga and his great Basiliga Hospitality Group. Veterans we lost, but celebrate today thanks to John. Like George DeLulo, drums. Ralph Otley, chinchilla. Joseph Svets, Wilkes-Barre. Alfred Pete Schroeder, West Pittston. Frank Chip Gilham, Hazleton. And Edward Lowe, late of Staten Island, New York. The United States of America, founded with a certain knowledge and understanding by our incredible, irreplaceable, amazing founding fathers who understood that government could not be, should not be, and declared that they would not be our parent, our guide, our salvation, our direction. Not any of those things. But the government should be nothing more than a necessary evil we require to organize and protect society. The United States of America, the country where, for the first time in human history, freedom was declared to be an unalienable right, granted to each individual by God. It was not something that could be parceled out to groups. It was not something that could be controlled by government or government officials, because our great American Constitution ensures and codifies freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of association, economic freedom, and freedom of the press, no matter how they use it, because we're free to ignore them. Now, armed with these freedoms, and only because of those freedoms, a ragtag bunch of immigrants, rejects, and their progeny created the richest, most powerful, most culturally diverse and accepting nation ever to grace our planet Earth. America, the only place specifically invented and designed so that every American can live their life in the manner they choose, unlimited by their background, upbringing, race, color, or creed, unhindered by the government or those who would use government to control others for their own comfort, benefit, or power. This Bob Cordaro Show, well, it's always going to be convincingly conservative, lovingly logical, proudly and passionately patriotic, and reliably right. And so we gavel to order another meeting of this Club for Common Sense, promising you that because of our commitment to common sense, that for the balance of the morning, we will indeed provide a sanctuary of sanity for all you in an insane world where the entire Democrat Party has gone off its rocker. Just absolutely crazy. Very, I know it was a little long, longer than usual in terms of the cold opens, as they are called. But we just needed some VDH, and he's ailing now. He's giving some releases, but he got pretty sick. And so I said, it's time for a little VDH. Speaking of great people, I go through the obituaries every day in the newspaper. And by the way, if anybody has last Friday's obituaries, we didn't get the Scranton paper here for some reason last Friday, and I don't have them. So if anybody can mail them into me or whatever, I'd appreciate it greatly. I do not like to miss even one of our veterans. But yesterday, I opened the paper, was very sad. I saw from Dunmore, Vincent Marone. He was 90 and passed away February 11th. And they really put a loving obituary together for him. And he was a Dunmore guy, but you know where I know him from? He had the shoe shine shop downtown Scranton. Many, many years. In the days when you used to get your shoes shined. And, I don't know. He was just a guy to admire. I knew for a lot of that time He was working at Haddon Craftsman. So he'd get done with work there, I guess the overnight shift, and then he'd be at another 6, 8, maybe 10 hours at his own shoeshine shop on Linden Street in downtown Scranton. I was very sad to see his passing. He was 90. And this is true. Vincent leaves behind a legacy of love, resilience, and devotion that will live on through the generations that follow him. He never spoke really good English. Or I should be more accurate. He never spoke English very well. And, yeah, here it is. Vince worked for many years at Haddon Craftsman in Scranton, where he built a reputation for reliability, skill, and pride in his work. For over 50 years, Vince was well known for his expertise in shining and reconditioning leather and suede shoes and boots. He humbly practiced his craft at Diamond Shoe Shine and later for many years at his own Vince's Shoe Parlor. There were not just shoe shine shops, but sacred places where the white-collar and blue-collar folks mixed on equal ground. Vince did his work at his customers' feet, but was held in the highest regards and respect by them all. You know, you could drop a package of, a bag of shoes, and he would do them, but I just loved when he did the shoes. He was a true institution. I know I'll miss him. I know a lot of people will as well. Yeah. Anyway, and he lived on the corner. I'd get to see him on the porch, and I'd yell to him and all that when I was driving by. But nothing in this life is permanent, is it? Hey, let's take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. We will return. B.J. Thomas. Murph tells us this date, 1966. He debuted on the charts with his first single, I'm So Lonesome I Could Cry. And before that, Donald Trump, 1942, signed an executive order which relocated and interred people of Japanese ancestry in World War II. I'm sorry. It was Democrat President Franklin D. Roosevelt. I thought it was Trump. I figured it had to be Trump. It had to be the Nazi. Dear Lord. It's just so ridiculous, these people. By the way, our friend Gerald Z, he says, Dale Earnhardt, and I didn't see this yesterday. Remember we were talking about Dale Earnhardt's passing and his accident at the 500? Dale was well known for loosening the belts on the last lap of a race. The day he died, he got hit on the right side and hit the wall almost head on. It was sort of a blunt, but it didn't look, I agree, Gerald, it didn't look like he was going to die. And he said, I believe he broke his neck from whiplashing in the car. The only one who knows what happened and his lips are sealed is Kenny Schrader. Kenny hit him on the right side and watched the whole thing while being stuck to him. To this day, I contend the accident was not as violent as some you see. I agree. Dale Earnhardt was NASCAR in the tradition of Richard Petty. Yeah, Earnhardt was, he was amazing. Anyway, Mr. Paul alerted me to this. It's just a couple of seconds. Now, we're stuck with ABC News here. ABC News and AP, and that's why our news very often is biased and awful. So I want to just illustrate to you why it is so awful. Play David Muir, Bulldog. Power to... You hear this? The critics. Dear Lord. But play that again, Bulldog. By the way, the government to control climate as if they could. It's every bit of left-wing stupidity and insanity in our left-stream media, all captured in, 12 seconds? Play it again, Bulldog. Rejecting the science. The science is not anywhere near settled. And now your health is at risk. This is how awful ABC News is. It's unbelievable. Quite amazing. Somebody takes out authorities in London and Paris are using released Epstein files to make arrests. Former Prince Andrew is a nice start. You got to remember what he was arrested for. He was arrested for apparently giving information and documents that he should not have given to Epstein, which he either used to invest or sell investments or whatever. It'll be disclosed over the time coming. But it became very clear. This arrest, as far as I know, and I've looked at it quite a bit this morning, this arrest had nothing to do with his sexual picadillos, as disgusting as they were. Remember, the Queen paid about $12 million to get this stupid slob out of trouble with the Giuffre matter. And so it's very interesting. And he's been set adrift by his brother. And by the way, rightly so. Rightly so. Hey, at some point you can say later we love our brother, but, the law's got to take precedence. But it isn't regarding, that's the odd thing. The arrest is not regarding his sexual activities with Epstein. It's regarding potential release of documents. And by the way, the fact that they made an arrest instead of just bring him for questioning or going to question him probably means that they've got the goods. So we'll see. Somebody takes in Bob ABC News. Well, you wrote that they sock. But I know what you mean. They say, I will not watch anymore, even our local station, LTS. It's awful. It's awful. It is terrible. And it's sad. And we're stuck with it at the moment. All right, we'll take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. We're going to return. We got a Veterans Tribute. We got the weather. We've got Tina Morocco calling in from Florida. You notice I don't even ask the weather anymore? I don't. All right, we'll do that when we come back. The fastest moving song in the United States was Barry Sadler's Ballad of the Green Beret. This date, 1966. It had moved from number 51 to number 10. And the Bulldog thought it would be inappropriate, and I think it is, to perform the backdrop for our Veterans Tribute. Brought to you by John Basiliga and Basiliga Hospitality. 3 amazing bar restaurants. Queen City Tavern, Downtown Elephant, a Far Street Tavern, the reimagined Institution in the Great Trips Park section of West Scranton, the Old Brook Inn on 307. All of them, I'm telling you, fabulous. Fine dining, yeah, we got that too. A Terra 519, which now has a late night menu. Well, late is not what it used to be, but 10 o'clock, right? And specials and an amazing happy hour every day at a Terra. $10 drinks. Stegmeyer Mansion. Downtown Wilkes-Barre. It's like going to Newport, Rhode Island and being able to have an amazing dinner. Hey, Sergei's the nightclub open tonight without a cover charge. George DeLulo We lost him February 7th at age 80. He was from drums. Born in Reading, he served in the Army during the Vietnam War. 1964 graduate of Governor Mifflin High School. He went on to earn a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering from Penn State University. Now, I always think of this. All these individual high schools for each community, they produce amazing graduates. Here's a mechanical engineer. Anyway, he worked as a mechanical design engineer, developing an equipment and machinery for various manufacturing processes. He was an active member of Grace Baptist Church, where he served as deacon for many years. Life member of the NRA, golfing, cooking, and model building were his things. Surviving, his wife of 56 years, Shirley. 2 sons, a daughter, 4 grandchildren, and many other family members. George DeLulo. Ralph Otley. He died February 9th. He was 88. He was from Chinchilla. He was the husband of the late Mary Otley. They'd been married 42 years before she passed in 2001. Born in Scranton, Ralph graduated from the great Scranton Technical High School and was drafted in the United States Army. He honorably served his country at Fort Benning, Georgia. He worked for over 30 years at the train company in Dunmore. He then worked many more years at Abington Heights Middle School in the maintenance department. Ralph was a parishioner of Our Lady of the Snows Church, and along with his son Dwayne, was a staple greeting people as they entered. He was an usher. Love it. He loved Broadway shows, summer festivals, and decorating the house for Christmas. He loved sharing stories with anyone who would listen, especially stories that started with back in my day. Survivors include a daughter, a son, granddaughters, grandsons, a great-grandson, and other relatives. Ralph Otley. Our great veterans this hour brought to you by John Basiliga and Basiliga Hospitality. Storm Tracker 16 forecast from meteorologist Anthony Bordenero. Brought to you by our friends at Montage Mountain Resort. It is a great, great week to ski if you like spring skiing. You get a little spring skiing in, and they've got that $49 package, including the rental. It's insane. Today, cloudy with a chance of a sprinkle, 42. Tonight, clouds with fog, likely 33. Friday, clouds with a mix of rain and ice in the morning, then changing to all rain. It'll be about 41. Saturday, clouds with breaks of sun, high 42. Sunday, cloudy with snow showers likely, 36. And I heard tell Nancy saying that there could be a little bit of a storm. They're tracking it. And that's the weather brought to you by our friends at Montage Mountain Resorts. We love them. We love him. I follow him on Instagram. Hey, when you hear that song, and when you hear about sunshine, you immediately think Florida. Well, if you want to go to Florida, if you want to buy something in Florida, Southwest Florida, but the whole state, you check in with Tina Morocco and find out what she's got and what she could do for you. And here she is. Tina, how are you?
I'm doing well, Bob. How are you?
Great. Always, I don't know. I'm not kidding. I always feel a little warmer when I'm talking to you. Why is that?
Because I'm sending you sunshine.
I do. I will. Hey, you're the gateway to Southwest Florida real estate, and you're checking out various areas for us
Uh-huh.
in
Yeah.
Southwest Florida. Of course, you could take any part of Florida and lead that charge for one of our listeners. But tell me what
Of
you
course.
got today.
Yeah, so today I'm going to spend most of the day in Vanderbilt Beach. I have a listing there that
Mm,
I'm showing, and I have some properties there that I'm showing. But let's talk about Vanderbilt Beach. Have you been there, Bob?
yes.
Oh, so Ritz Carlton is there, the beach
Yep.
resort, and also Mercado, which is really a hot spot for restaurants and bars and shopping. And also, there's this awesome movie theater there. There's a huge park there that they have outdoor festivals. They have Cars and Coffee there, which is like a car show with all these luxury cars. But yeah, Mercado's the place to be. Happening place in Vanderbilt Beach.
Well, Blue
And
Martini. I used to go to
yeah,
there's a Rocky Patel cigar bar. So,
there
okay,
sure
we
is.
yeah, we
Rocky
go to the
Patel is
I'd go to the Rocky Patel cigar bar, and then I
there.
found out the Blue Martini lets you smoke cigars in the outdoor bar area. So we just
Yeah, I
start
think
hanging around
Cabo.
there now.
Yeah, Cabo next door does too, I think. Yeah, it's a
Okay.
great indoor outdoor live music out there all the time. Which is so fun. You know, it's a fun place to walk around. And we talked about Coconut Point last week, I think, and in Estero, Mercado's somewhat like that, where it has shops and restaurants on the bottom, and then it has residential on the top. So you can actually live there
I
and kind
did
of
not
have a
know that.
vacation.
I did not know that. How about that? How did I miss that? I guess I was drinking.
Yeah, so every night.
Yeah. Oh, I
Yeah.
Naples has so much. And a funny story, we were staying years ago at the, what the heck? Oh, I walked from the Fifth Avenue and thought,
Hmm.
oh, I'm going to walk up to the Ritz-Carlton. It's Naples. So what? It was about 13 miles. I never
Oh yeah.
realized how big Naples was, and that's how I got to Vanderbilt Beach.
Did you make it? Walking?
Yes, I made. It was mostly walking, a little running, just because I was like, my gosh, this
Yeah.
will take forever.
I bet you came back with a tan.
Yes, I did. Oh
Yeah.
well, that Vanderbilt Beach is a great area. They've got a lot of single houses, right? But
Yeah, a lot of single family homes, but also Vanderbilt Beach is one of those areas where we have a lot of high rises right on the
yeah,
beach.
yeah.
So on not just Vanderbilt Beach, but Wiggins State Park, there's right along the corner there. There's all these high rises that overlook not just the beaches but the bay, and they're so pretty. Really, really nice. And again, all different price points. They range from like little one studio places to like giant condos that are 3 or 4 thousand square feet.
Mm.
We have some new construction going in there. They're actually the Ritz Carlton residences are going there in Vanderbilt Beach, kind of right across from the Ritz Carlton Beach Resort. So that's a stunning property with restaurants and a lot of things to do around there too. It's so walkable there
And
too.
that beach bar at the Ritz Carlton, you can't beat it.
Oh, gumbo limbo.
Well,
Yeah.
you know what else too? I go to the Ritz. I was always a Ritz Carlton fan when I had a little
Mhm.
bit of money. I go to the to work out. Believe it or not, I worked out
Mhm.
after I walked up there. They
Mhm.
had fresh squeezed orange juice
Oh yeah.
in the spa. I couldn't
Mhm.
believe it.
Yeah, and they have that cucumber water that's so
Yeah.
good. Oh my, it's
Yeah.
just so
Oh,
relaxing.
well, you're making us think of beautiful weather, Vanderbilt Beach, exciting stuff. Hey,
Yeah.
thank you, Tina. I look forward to talking to
Yeah,
you again very soon.
definitely. I'll talk to you soon, Bob. Thanks.
All right, Tina Morocco. She's with Premier Sotheby's International in their Naples office. You can find her there on their website or go to tinamorocco.com. Muracco. She's the best. And you got to have a realtor you could trust. Thank you again, Tina. We'll take a quick break and we'll be back. We're going to take your calls. It's the Bob Cordaro Show. Lou Christie. This date, 1966. He was born this date, 1943, in Glen Willard, PA. He had the number one hit in the USA with Lightning Strikes, says Murph. Bob Cordaro back. Somebody wondering how long is the media going to go with this Guthrie thing? It really is. It's a terrible situation. It's sad. It's heartbreaking. I think everybody can imagine it happening to one of their parents as I get older, to me. And you just, I hope she's not suffering. I hope she comes back somehow unscathed. But you're right. I mean, I don't talk about it on the program because it doesn't have any larger implications, as far as I can tell. Unless it's a Mexican cartel involved, which has not been, well, it's been hinted, but it hasn't been shown. So I don't know. I agree. It's really overblown. Fox is going goofy with it. I don't know why. And they are my main news source because they cover all the stories, but they're covering less and less stories because they're doing this Guthrie story. And there's no news, like nothing. They've probably had 20, Fox probably has had 20 or 30 different experts, law enforcement and otherwise, and there's nothing to add. There's no news here. I mean, somebody takes a dump in the sheriff's department and it's reported. So they've really got to stop all the news outlets. They're all, Fox is not terrible. The other cable are just terrible. But yeah. On the blower, we got my old friend Gene Barrett. Gene, how are you?
Good morning, Bob. How you doing?
Great. What's
Good.
happening?
Just echo some comments on Vince Marone.
Yeah.
What a great guy. I mean, when I was at the 1220 North Washington, the steam plant, when he was working at Haddon Craftsman, he used to walk back and forth to work, and then then he would go down as you said. He would go downtown after his shift, and had the shop there on Linden Street, and put 3 or 4 hours in there, and then walk back home.
Mm-hmm.
And such a great guy, hard work ethic, spoke broken English, fully understood you entirely when you spoke to him. He was such just a great guy. And I remember he told me years ago, there was a shoe shine parlor on Spruce Street. It was in the 400 block, right by, there used to be an Armand's men's store in that general area right there. And I think he worked there in his younger day. But once Haddon Craftsman closed, then he went into it effectively full time.
Yeah.
Was there on Linden Street. And of course they took down Nebesky's, that building that was attached to where he was working, and then he was renting space, in a common area right behind Scanlon's restaurant off of Linden Street. He was renting space off of Jerry Joyce. You'd go down the alley behind St. Peter's Cathedral, and there was a door there going in the common area to go into those residential apartments, and he had three shoe shine boots there, and like you said, you could drop your shoes off, and it was just so much of Old Town and the way things were in this country, and you kind of harken back to the days when your parents and your father and your grandfather and so on were growing up, and he was a great guy and a big loss.
And you know what? I was so happy that he got to retire, because I said, here's a guy now. He doesn't know how to retire, but he loved porch sitting.
No.
And I would see him on
yes.
his front porch and drive by, give him a yell,
Yeah.
give him a beep, and
it was on either it was on electric or drinker, right?
Electric, yeah.
Electric, yeah.
As well
yeah.
as actually
Yeah.
drinker, drinker.
Drink,
Drinker
okay.
before it becomes electric, yeah.
Yeah, and he'd just sit there and wave. And,
You didn't know if he knew you were there, but you were happy he was there.
Yeah, exactly. And I just felt all those years, someone that was such a colorful character and such an integral part of Scranton's central business district. I just had to call in and say, yeah.
And Gene, he might have 6 or 7 people in the glory days. People still dressed then.
Yes.
6 or 7 people,
yeah.
and he would be taking care of all of them. It was amazing.
Yes. Yeah, it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. And amazing guy, hard worker, family man. So I just.
By the way, Gene, I also remember his hands became shaped to specifically hold the brush.
Yeah.
Remember his hands?
Yeah, how about
they were like they were splayed a little bit to hold the brush better.
Yeah. He just that last couple brushes when he put that finishing touch on, you know what I mean? And he'd had a little water there, and he'd put his fingers in and on the tip of your shoe and little droplets of water, and then he'd walk out of there all spit shined.
Yeah,
you know what I
the
mean?
last spit and literal spit. There'd be the spit shine you got with Vince Marone.
Exactly. So I just felt
I'm happy you called about it because he deserves
his honor.
He deserves he deserves the attention. Thank you so much, Gene.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, man.
All right.
And with the talking about Vince Marone, another amazing institution in downtown Scranton, Picardo Jewelers. They've got Raymond Weil, Breitling, Oris, Longines, Michelle, Shinola, Luminox, Swiss Army, Seiko, Tory Burch, Victorinox, Bulova, G-Shock, and the best selection of jewelry anywhere. I mean, Picardo's Jewelers. And the Picardo Jewelers, your watch store time is 10 o'clock. That means it's time for the news. We'll be back. It's the Bob Cordaro Show. Bulldog. Great. Good morning, everyone. The Picardo Jewelers time is 10:08 a.m. here in the great Northeast this beautiful Thursday, February 19, 2026. This is the Bob Cordaro Show, and I am he. And it's a big day to fight for America, defend our values, and with help of our man, John Basiliga, and his great Basiliga Hospitality Group, to honor the brave who have made us and kept us free. People like veterans we've lost this year, but celebrate today thanks to John. Ralph Otley, Chinchilla. George DeLulo, Drums. Joseph Svets, Wilkes-Barre. Alfred Pete Schroeder, West Pittston. Frank Chip Gillum, Hazleton. And Edward Lowe, Staten Island, New York. So with history, our great founding fathers, and the incomparable Constitution of the United States of America as our guides, let us continue today's battle. Gaveling back to order this meeting of the Club for Common Sense, promising you that our commitment to common sense will provide a sanctuary of sanity for all of you in a world that's half mad. Certainly the Democrat Party is. Well, I've been corresponding. I don't know if you remember a couple of programs we did. I went down to a prison, SCI Coaldale, and met with a bunch of lifers. And you know, I had 8.5 years of prison experience, so it's not like it was strange to me. But I was just so taken with, it's hard to say, but I guess the normalcy of these people, and they had no chance to get out. These were lifers without parole. And through this process, I got in touch with a guy by the name of Rob Paseka. And Rob Paseka, he's at SCI Phoenix. And he's a lifer. He committed murder. And it was a gruesome crime. But he says, I was a broken child when I took that man's life, but today I'm a good man, 49 years old. And he's spent over 20 years working on being a good man. And he's done all kinds of things for prison. He's helped create 2 nonprofits, helped raise over $500,000 for charities while in prison. And he's on the phone with us right now. Rob, I'm so happy we were able to connect. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks, Bob. Thanks for making this happen.
And I know this. One of the things about prison, and especially in your circumstances, I would guess, you just want relevance in the outside world. You want to matter. And,
absolutely.
And
I think everybody wants that.
Yeah, and this kind of thing, that's why I was so happy to have you on. All right, and I know are you on a time limit with the normal
Yes, we have
phones?
about 9 minutes.
All right, I get that. Rob, give us your message. Give us your message to the public.
Well, my message, Bob, is, I understand that there are 8,000 people in Pennsylvania state prisons who are sentenced to die in prison. And not every one of us, the majority of us, are not these evil monsters that social media, newspaper reports make us out to be, or some of these reality clip TV shows. Most of the men in here, we have committed horrible crimes, and there's no justifying that. But the majority of us were children, or we were young adults who never matured, did not grow up when we committed these crimes. And all we're seeking today is a second chance, a chance to make a difference, a chance at redemption, a chance to show the world that we are still human beings. And we have so much more that we can accomplish.
Right now, and I know I had checked, there is no legislative initiative of any value The governor could do certain things on his own, but nothing's going to happen in the legislature, as you point out to me, with Republicans in charge of the Senate, Democrats in charge of the House, and never the tween shall they meet.
Right.
Let me ask you, though, Rob, so you've been in prison how long?
Almost 28 years.
All right. With that amount of time, how do you get up every day and just say, hey, here's my purpose in life? Because for all intents and purposes, as of right now, you're not getting out.
True. Now, my purpose, Bob, is to try to focus on criminal justice reform. We're focusing on legislative change. The Board of Pardons is such a political and broken system that it's going backwards. So we have no faith in the Board of Pardons anymore. And we have no faith in Lieutenant Governor Austin Davis or even Governor Shapiro, because we're not seeing any positive reform. But one of the things I do, Bob, is I reach out to legislators. I talk to dozens and dozens of them. And some of them have become very good friends of mine over the years. And some of them have grown to see my change and transformation. And I invite them into the prisons to see others change and transformation. That not everybody deserves this fate. There are great people in here who deserve to earn a second chance. We don't want to give it to us. Let us earn it. Let's figure out a way we could, through legislature or through legislative changes, that we can earn it. But with Senator Lisa Baker being in charge of the Judiciary Committee, she won't even bring these bills up for discussion, let alone a vote.
It's a difficult situation, and again, the thing that surprised me about the lifers that I had met with a couple of years ago was how much life they had in them.
Yes. You know, we try to do our best. We do everything we can to help promote positive change, not just in here, but a lot of people don't know that, you know, we raise money. And each year, lifers in every prison in the state generate over $100,000 to different charities throughout Pennsylvania and throughout America.
Amazing. I mean, it's an important way to atone for your crime, and by the way, yours was just one. I mean, horrendous, but your one crime, correct?
Yes.
And
yes, I killed a man who sexually attacked me, and I attempted to cover up my crime when I was 21 years old.
And he had sexually assaulted you.
He attempted to sexually attack me in my sleep. He sexually propositioned me, and when I turned down his advances, he attacked me.
And that was not considered a mitigating circumstance?
I think it was only considered a mitigating circumstance in the death penalty phase. They attempted to give me the death penalty for this crime.
Was it someone of prominence that you killed?
No, absolutely not. He was a 55-year-old man who was a known homosexual. I didn't know this because I was 21 years old when I first moved in with him when I was renting a room out of his apartment.
Yeah.
But I really didn't think it mattered.
How many prisons have you been in? I know we're running out of time, Rob Pazeka, but how many prisons have you been in?
I've been in about 12. Normally when you come to prison, they send you far away from home, and it takes you many years to work your way close. It took me this long to work my way to Montgomery County, as I was convicted out of Bucks County. After
28 years in prison, is there anyone left in family, friends that can? Are they allowed to come see you, and do they?
Yes, I get weekly visits from family, friends, and I have lawmakers that come up here every month to come visit me.
That's
you know, I still have a
amazing.
very large support system of loved ones, my girlfriend, lawmakers, senators, state representatives, college professors, lawyers that come up here every month to visit me.
Yeah.
These are the people that support Rob coming home, despite the fact that the heinous crime that I committed when I was 21 years old.
Rob Pazeka is our guest. He is he's a life prisoner currently at SCI Phoenix, Montgomery County, for murder. So What is there? Like, is there anything we could do? Is there anything just to give you that second shot, just to give you that hearing in front of the parole board?
Well, see, lifers can't go in front of the parole board. We have to go in front of the commutation board, the Board of Pardons, for a commutation hearing.
Okay.
And right now, it's all about getting outside support for change. And I want to take the opportunity to say that anybody who is interested in supporting positive change, reach out to me, email me. I am permitted to email with people, and my name is my email, Robert Pezzecca, Pezzecca @gmail.com. We are permitted to email, and we are permitted to network and bring people in and show them how people have grown and changed, to have conversations. Where I am working on a legislative event at SCI Muncie right now, and I've literally asked their permission for you, Bob Cordaro, to be allowed to attend this if you are able to and interested.
Yeah, they could. I am interested. The last time there was an event, I think it was through you, Rob. I was not.
You have 1 minute left.
They couldn't.
You have 1 minute.
Yeah, they could. By the way, I'm used to these phones. but yeah, they couldn't. I don't know why they couldn't approve it, or they couldn't let me know in time, or something. I can't remember what happened, but maybe this time it'll work out.
And that is a shame, because I brought 30 lawmakers into SCI Cole Township for positive reform changes.
Yeah. Oh,
and Dennis Owens, a friend of mine in Harrisburg, who's a reporter, put it on ABC 27.
Neat. Well, Rob Pezzecca, listen, we could talk again, and be more than happy to readdress this subject because I know you're out of time here.
Yes, I want to get a lady lifer out of SCI Muncie on here to talk with you as well.
Sure.
So I'm going to be passing along this info. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I appreciate it.
Anything we could do to bring attention to this, I don't even, my position would be, gosh, do we throw away the key forever?
Thank you for using
Thank you, Bob.
Securus.
I appreciate
Goodbye.
it.
All right, Rob, you take care. That's our call from prison. Rob Pezzecca, Pezzecca, and that's his name for Gmail. It's just, and I'm not advocating for them to all get out of prison or anything like that. I'm just curious about it. I'm exploring it because, man, to not have a second chance at all, it runs against my thoughts for sure. All right, we're going to take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. We will return. Nilsson, this date, 1972. Murph tells us he had the #1 adult charts hit and the #1 Billboard charts hit with Without You. Bob Cordaro back. The prison experience that I had is never far from my mind, and not in a torturous way, just in a factual way. My God, it was eight and a half years, plus another 13 months of home confinement. So it's not, 9.5 years, like, okay. It's always there. I always think about it. I don't have nightmares about it or anything like that. Nothing. In fact, I'm not disturbed by it in any way. But when somebody's down for life and they don't have any chance, it's hard to think about and hard to watch. And I'm against the death penalty. First of all, because it doesn't work. Second of all, because I don't know that any of us has the wisdom or capacity to judge with that much finality. But they make a compelling case, and again, having been with them, and thank you for that. Somebody said it's Cole Township, SCI Cole Township, that I was at and visited. You just say, man, at least judge them and give them an opportunity to make their case. 28 years in prison. Crazy stuff. Hey, let's go right to the source here. Joe from Berwick, who is a retired prison guard. How are you, Joe?
Oh, great, Bob. Thank you.
I don't know if you had a chance to hear that conversation.
Oh, yeah, I did. I found it very interesting. As a matter of fact, if you could personally contact me on our Gmail that we do, and you mean that man's name, I might have something interesting for him.
Okay.
I have kept in touch with two lifers personally after I retired. I tried to visit one, and for some reason they wouldn't approve it, and I tried to get help from inmate advocacy groups, and nobody could help me. But I kept in personal touch with two lifers after I retired 5 years ago.
I used to have a joke because I said when the couple of the places I was at, there were guys probably responsible for 300-400 bodies, and I'm talking about the prison population as a whole. And I said, well, maybe they got it off their chest.
Well, So that'd be interesting, like I said, because I'm at work right now, so I couldn't write anything down. But I'd be interested to contact that guy. But here's the other thing, Bob. I've been hearing about, and of course everybody has, about what they call the Epstein files, right?
Yeah.
And I did a little research on this, and this brings up some issues too that were kind of similar in nature. He was first prosecuted, Epstein was, back, I believe, during the Bush administration. And that I believe went through Florida. That I think went through the Florida justice system. But then later, Ghislaine Maxwell was prosecuted under the first Trump administration, and that would have been Bill Barr. And that was a federal issue. And that's who pursued that. Now, I bring that up because, everything that they're making about these so-called Epstein files, honest to God, Bob, there's no client list, as it were. I said there's no indication.
Yeah, it was really bungled from a press standpoint, and it was really oversold before they knew what they were actually getting into. Yeah.
Criminal conviction. And that's what the victims deserve. If there was a crime committed here, which I believe there was, the victims deserve a real criminal conviction and investigation. The question is, why didn't that happen? Like I said, it's the facts are what they are. It started under the second Bush administration with the first conviction, and the second conviction happened under Trump's first administration. Now, why nothing was followed up or done in the 4 years after that under the Biden administration, that's the real question here. And those are just the facts of the matter, because everything that they're talking about when they keep saying about this client list and these Epstein files, that is not criminal justice. That doesn't rise to the level of criminal justice. That's almost more or less like, we wake up every day and see who the new person is that we can march off to burn as a witch or a heretic, whatever. That's kind of what this has risen to.
Yeah.
Criminal justice is an entirely different animal altogether, and that's not what's happening here. And that's what people are missing.
I know it. But I will tell you this: if they hadn't bungled it, things could be easier now. If they hadn't packaged it as though, because remember, this information was under the control of the Trump Justice Department, although he had very little control over the Justice Department in his first term. But it was under the control of the Obama and then the Biden administration. They did nothing with it. But it's a lot of Trump haters using it stupidly, I will add.
That's a very good point.
I don't know what else. I don't know what else we need to know. I had a friend of mine send me the whole thing. You go to the Department of Justice, you could look up all of this stuff.
Yeah, well, I think what Trump did, usual, he shoots off his mouth. So the second time around, I believe he said things, prematurely in trying to basically almost like guaranteeing we'll get to the bottom of this. Yeah. Well, you can't say things like that. There is no bottom.
That's the problem. There is no bottom to this.
Well, here's the example I use. People get upset because they say, "Oh, well, Pam Bondi said it blow the system up." Well, let's look at this a minute. If everything they're alleging is true, and there were that many rich and powerful people involved and that much incompetency in all the system of holding them accountable, this would be such a gargantuan undertaking to actually do something. You couldn't do it through Pam Bondi's office. You need a special prosecutor with all kind of power and all kind of all kind of money available, because it would be an enormous undertaking. It's not, people act like this is a crime drama that you're going to solve in an hour. It doesn't work like that.
No, not at all. Hey, Joe, we got to go, but thank you, my friend, always.
Yeah.
We'll take this break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. Let's hear from our great sponsors. We'll do a veterans tribute, the weather, a little music and all that, and then you. Our Veterans Tribute this hour and every hour, this day and every day. Proudly brought to you by John Basiliga. As we head to the weekend, again, I can't believe time flying. We talk today about Basiliga Hospitality. The best in fine dining anywhere. The Stegmeyer Mansion, downtown Wilkes-Barre, South Franklin Street. A Terra 519, downtown Scranton, which has not only a late night menu for the weekend, but an amazing happy hour with $10 drinks. Then you go to Far Street Tavern, a neighborhood institution that has been reimagined, and it is fabulous. Queen City Tavern, downtown Oliphant. Was there last weekend and loved it. The Old Brook Inn, 307 Springbrook Township, a must stop. It just is. And by the way, Sergei's, the nightclub, they'll be open tonight, no cover. Alfred Pete Schroeder. He was 91. He was from West Pittston. We lost him January 27th. Born in Hamilton Township, New Jersey. Graduate of Hamilton High School, New Jersey Teachers College, University of Maryland, and Rutgers. He honorably served his country, enlisting in the United States Marine Corps, honorably discharged in 1961. He was an educator in the Reynolds Junior High School, New Jersey, then vice principal, then principal of Steinert High School, Hamilton, New Jersey. He loved his family, was a loving husband, father, grandfather, and great-grandfather. He coached baseball in junior high school. He had a love for the Bible and studied it and went to church regularly throughout Luzerne County. He played the piano at family gatherings. He was preceded in death by more than one spouse. First Carol Schroeder, then Linda Schroeder. He survived, however, by his children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and many other family members. Alfred Pete Schroeder. Joseph Svets. He was 95 when he passed January 31st. He was from Wilkes-Barre. Born in that city, he graduated from Ashley High School, St. Joseph's University, Philadelphia, where he earned a BS degree in business and accounting. A veteran of the Korean War, he was proud to serve his country in the U.S. Air Force, 1948 to 1956. He was a staff sergeant, employed by the Veterans Administration from 1959 until his retirement as Chief Financial Officer. Began in Philly and ended in Wappingers Falls, New York. Joseph enjoyed his family and also served God. A member of the Roman Catholic Church and the Slovak Catholic Sokol. Preceding him in death, his wife Frances, brothers and sisters, nieces, nephews, and other family survive him. Joseph Svets, our great veterans. Brought to you by John Basiliga and Basiliga Hospitality. Storm Tracker 16 forecast from meteorologist Anthony Bordenero. Brought to you by our friends at Montage Mountain Resort. You can see it off Route 81, and things are hopping and happening up there, and you can ski during the week for $49, including the rental. They're going crazy. What a great experience. Today, cloudy with a chance of sprinkle, high 42, 37 outside the studio as I speak. Tonight, clouds with fog likely, low 33. Friday, clouds with a mix of rain and ice in the morning, then changing to all rain, 41 degrees. Saturday, clouds with a few breaks of sun, 42. Sunday, cloudy with snow showers likely, 36 degrees. And that's your weather, brought to you by the great gang up at Montage Mountain Resort. The Eagles. Murph says this date, 1977. They did number 2 hit with New Kid in Town. Bob Cordaro back with you on WILK. And, of course, Vice President J.D. Vance commenting on the vapid AOC. I got to tell you, it is frightening. And it tells you the state of today's Democrat Party. AOC is a leader in that party. He's dumb as a box of rocks. And their presidential candidate, Kamala Harris, the sitting vice president for 4 years, equally shallow and empty. Unreal. Scary. And as I think about them, I think of a woman of infinite depth, St. Teresa, Mother Teresa, and her message for February 19th. God has created us to love and to be loved, and this is the beginning of prayer, to know that he loves me, that I have been created for greater things. St. Teresa, Mother Teresa for February 19th, and thank you, Mary Regina. Important stuff. So let's say there was a couple of texts I wanted to get to. Somebody's texted, if only Biden didn't want to debate President Trump early, it would have been too late to throw him off the ticket. The demented old fool Biden would have lost everything like Mondale did in 1980 when he ran against Reagan. Actually, it was 84. You're right. You corrected yourself later. Even all down the ticket, seats in the Democrat Party would have been reduced to nothing. It would have been great. We could have really gotten rid of a lot of these bums in the Democrat Party. And maybe, just as the listener says, they could have returned to normalcy or form another party. It would have been a good thing if the idiot, demented, non-veteran fool ran. I agree 100%. That's a very smart point. Somebody else texted in, it seems there's a coordinated plan by the out-of-touch left entertainment industry. Springsteen starting a Dreams tour in Minneapolis, and U2 with an American Obituary song tribute to Renee Good. All the while ignoring this week 3 attacks on American citizens by illegal aliens. A woman killed in Georgia, a DHS agent shot in the chest in South Carolina, and a stabbing in Florida. And one more. I just received it in the snail mail today. There was a fatal head-on collision in Indiana, February 3rd. The semi-truck driver from Philadelphia, Begzan Beshakiv, identified as a Kyrgyzstan national, who entered the U.S. using the CBP app, CBP One app that the scumbags in the Biden administration created. 4 members of an Amish community were killed in the crash. They don't know if this guy could even read English, read signs. And he's driving a semi-truck and kills 4 people. And no matter what the fools say, all of the people in the incidents that the listener texted in about and that this mail piece show us would not have happened but for idiocy and disgusting disrespect for the law by the Democrat Party. And they continue. And they continue. And the Governor Shapiro is defending giving him a trucking license. DHS noting it's incredibly dangerous for illegal aliens who often don't know our traffic laws or even English to be operating semi-trucks on American roads. Well, that goes without saying. But this is another illegal given his license by the state of Pennsylvania under Josh Shapiro. Unbelievable. It's just scary. And I don't know who sent that in, but they sent it in anonymously. But crazy stuff. All right, let's do this. We've got to take a break because somebody's holding on the phone. I want to get to them. Let's do that, and then we'll come back. It's the Bob Cordaro Show. Well, we don't have any summertime blues here. Maybe Tina Morocco does down in Southwest Florida, our great real estate agent. But Murph tells us this date, 1998, the Stray Cats reunited for a benefit concert at the House of Blues, Hollywood, California, for the Carl Perkins Foundation. The group ended their show with their rendition of Eddie Cochran's Summertime Blues. Bob Cordaro back with you on the program. I hate laughing at the fool. Biden banner disgrace, day 66. The Greenridge Neighborhood Association. Those of you who voted to put it up and keep it there should be ashamed of yourself. You're embarrassing the neighborhood, the city, and yourselves. Paying tribute as though this man was a veteran, which he was not. You could put a banner up of any kind, not a hometown hero banner for Joe Biden. Embarrass yourselves. Do not debase our veterans. Biden banner disgrace, day 66. All right, let's go to the blower. We got Paul from Tunkhannock, the Factoryville Sportsman's Club. You've got this concealed carry seminar coming up. How are you, my man?
Thanks, Bob. But let me first start with saying that your Veterans Tribute is the best thing on radio. I look forward to it every time I listen to your radio station. And I'm looking forward to hearing your tribute to a man I have the privilege of serving with, Fran Tartella, who was a senior chief in the Naval Reserves, who passed away February 9th. He's a local boy. I'm sure you'll
I hope to God I have that. Do me this favor so we don't even have a chance to miss it. If you or somebody else could direct me to his obituary, I want to make sure we do it.
It is in the Scranton Times.
Oh, it was? Then we will probably grab it.
Yes.
I just missed Friday. When did he pass?
February 9th.
All right. I probably have it. We only missed the one Friday, last Friday with the newspaper just didn't come here for some reason. But all right. Thank you.
Thank you for giving that preface. Yes, we are hosting the Concealed Carry and Castle Doctrine Seminar at the Factoryville Sportsman's Club. That is next Wednesday, the 25th. Our doors to that event will open at 5:30. There is no admission charge. We just ask that if you are not a member of the club, that you register with State Representative Tina Pickett's office so she has a decent head count. And we'll go over all the questions and comments that you may have regarding the legality and the issues of concealed carry and the possible use, heaven forbid, of that firearm. So it is of vital importance that those of you who are considering, those of you who already have, please come to this seminar and pay attention to whatever seminars may be available. I know that Tina is also hosting one up in Bradford County as well.
Well, what's neat, and I don't think people appreciate it, groups like the Factoryville Sportsman's Club, you do a lot in education, in training and safety, and all of the things that are very important if you're going to take on the responsibility of owning and having a firearm.
Well, not only that, Bob, but I'm proud to say that I've been a hunter education instructor for more than 40 years with the Game Commission, and we do courses throughout northeastern Pennsylvania from Factoryville and with other clubs who may need our help. And yes, we love doing those kind of things. We fly under the radar on a lot of things, and we kind of like it that way.
Yeah.
But if you're interested in the outdoors or any types of outdoor activities that involve firearms or archery or things of that sort, check us out.
Factoryville Sportsman's Club next Wednesday. What time?
5:30, and our kitchen will be open. Kim, our cook, is fabulous. She'll whip up a heck of a meal for you, and come and you'll see people that you haven't seen in a long time. You'll see people that are your neighbors.
Yeah.
We have over 600 members in northeastern Pennsylvania, which is incredible.
Well, Paul, we got to get one more call in next week. All right.
I will do so, Bob. I'll talk to you Monday or Tuesday.
All right. Thank you. Paul, calling
Thank you,
regarding
sir.
Factoryville Sportsman's Club, their meeting and their instructions on concealed carry next Wednesday, 4:30. Good stuff. My Bicardo Jewelers watch tells me that it's 11:01. The Bicardo Jeweler, your watch store time is 11:01. Time for the news with Brian Hughes. We'll be back. Great good morning, everyone. The Picardo Jewelers, your watch door time is 11:08 a.m. in the great Northeast. This beautiful Thursday, February 19, 2026. This is the Bob Cordaro Show. I am he, and it's a big day to fight for America, defend our values. And with the help of our man, John Basiliga, and his great Basiliga Hospitality Group, to honor the brave who have made us and kept us free. People like veterans we've lost this year, but celebrate today thanks to John, like Joseph Svets, Wilkes-Barre, Alfred Pete Schroeder, West Piston, Ralph Otley, Chinchilla, George DeLulo, Drums, Frank Chip Gillum, Hazleton, and Edward Lowe, Staten Island, New York. So with history, our great founding fathers, and the incomparable Constitution of the United States of America as our guides, let us continue today's battle. Gaveling back to order this meeting of the Club for Common Sense, promising you that our commitment to common sense will provide a sanctuary of sanity for all of you in a world that's gone insane, in a world where one of the two major political parties, the Democrats, has gone loony. So you need it. Somebody says, we often hear free citizen state. This is regarding my interview with Rob Pazeka, convicted murderer in prison for life. We often hear free citizen state. They can't get in touch with their representatives, yet we commonly hear about convicts getting access, LOL. Another, at 21, he's not a kid. He murdered a man, dismembered their body, and stole their car and possessions. He's exactly where he belongs and should stay there for the rest of his life. What he chooses to do behind bars is his own business. And I get that sentiment. I think, however, and all I would advocate for is after a certain period of time and you observe this person's actions and activities and behavior over 28 years of prison, that maybe he gets a chance for commutation and a thorough review. That's all I'm saying. I get where you're coming from. I can't say, well, you're wrong. But there's no right or wrong here. There really isn't. Somebody else says, take your own advice and leave the jokes to the professionals. LTS. That was my little, I know which one you're referring to. That was my little joke. I'm going, the murderers I knew seemed like decent enough guys, and maybe they got it off their chest. Another, Biden banner, total disgrace, deliberately imposed on those who served honorably for political favor. Shame on the Green Ridge Neighborhood Association. We're not going away. If you want to be fools and idiots, you want to shame yourselves, feel free, have at it. Put up a banner, get your permissions, whatever. Don't give him a hometown hero banner, period. He's not a veteran. He did everything he could to get out of it. Somebody says, who gives a non-English speaking person a job as a truck driver? They should be liable too. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Someone asking, Bob, did you say U2 was going on tour with Springsteen? Not that I'm aware of. Somebody says, but maybe we need to check their legal status before they go on stage. ALTS. Yep. From Rich McHale, Springsteen's words, hey, little girl, is your daddy home? Did he go and leave you all alone? I have a strong desire. I'm on fire. I know. Somebody says, it's too bad Leslie Nielsen is no longer with us. He could have played Biden and his bumbling foolishness to a T. We played, who's the actor? Bridges. We played Lloyd Bridges, who played a military leader, a bumbling Joe Biden type, although Biden was never in the military. And then he played the bumbling president. And it's really so spot on, it's scary. But yeah, Leslie Nielsen could have got it, and I would point out that Lloyd Bridges already nailed Biden before he even took office. Someone asked, I continue to ask Councilman Sean McAndrew on his Facebook post where he stands on the Biden Stolen Valor banner and if it's possibly in violation of the banner policy ordinance. Crickets so far. I will put that question to council. Yeah, go to the council meeting. Find out what's going on here. Somebody said, Bob, you should go to that event at the Factorville Sportsman's Club. Obviously, you can't carry, but the more you know, the more you know. You know, it's a funny... I'm not a Rain Man type in any way, shape, or form. But I charge home and I start watching cable TV and perusing the things that all of you send me and the internet for the next day's show. And then, of course, I've got Chauncey. Got to take a Chauncey. I got to feed the cat. Oh, which, by the way, Bulldog. Let's not forget this. We've got to play Stick Out Your Can. Let me know when you have it ready. Today was garbage day. Don't want to forget that. Somebody says, same old playbook. The media and the Democrat Party playing a race card saying Republicans and Fox News are picking on her because she's a Latino woman. Race has nothing to do with it. AOC is not a smart, well-informed lawmaker. She's more like a real version of Three's Company, the actor Suzanne Summers. AOC is just dumb. Can't go into the presidency. Nothing to do with race. And that, by the way, being Latino or Hispanic is not a race. Just to be very clear. She's a bozo. She's more shallow than the puddle in front of my house this morning. You tell me when you're ready. You ready, Bulldog? Let's play it. Keep playing it, Bulldog, but I got to point out, today was garbage day, but I figured, last night I'm ready to do things and get the garbage out, and I'm going, wait a minute, it was a holiday Monday. It won't come till Friday. Well, Cutie informs me when I'm in the bathroom, she says, they're coming. My son saved the day. Bobby saved the day, because we had 3 cans this week, which is unusual, and we got it out. And our guys picked it up, and thank your DPW wherever you live. You would not want to live without them, I promise you. So, good morning, Bob ALTS. I remember my first day of training. The training lieutenant made this statement. The victim that is 6 feet under doesn't get a second chance. I can't say to you, and there's not a lot of issues where I don't take a right-wrong position, but this is one of them. I get it. I get where you're coming from. You reap what you sow, all of that. I just, if you met with these guys and you saw them and reacted. And then, by the way, I have a decent amount of prison experience. 8 years, 5 months, 11 different facilities. I could tell you that, man, there just should be redemption or a chance at it. And that redemption may have to take place in prison. So, I mean, I get it. Bob LTS, it occurs to me a man serving life without parole is more dangerous with no chance for redemption, says the Jersey Devil. Yeah, well, I know it. But I'm not so much worried about prison safety. These are the ones that are reformed that wouldn't do anything and have proven it over decades in prison. So, somebody else texting, Bob LTS. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you hear Billy Gaughan of the cite the book he read regarding Hitler's Germany Do you think that's required reading for the leftist elected officials sent down from leadership? Yeah, it just very well may be, and he very well may be lying. You got to remember, Billy Gordon lives a lie. He lives a lie. All his positions are based on lies. He should be nowhere near public office. The Jersey Devil said, it does bother me if prisoners are desperate. My son is a CO. I get it. I'm not dismissing that. I'm just saying the lifers I met and have dealt with, you would have no more concern being in their company than being with a group of, well, you would have more concern being with a group of politicians. But I understand what you're saying. Somebody said, Bob, if the puddle in front of your house is a filled pothole, it could be extremely deep. Yeah, in Scranton it could be with our horrible mayor. No doubt about it. Hey, we've got to take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK, this hour of the program brought to you by Tina Morocco, Global Sales Advisor at Sotheby's International Real Estate in Naples, Florida. Look her up there or go to Tina Morocco, MURACCO.com. That's Weezer. Not Weezer Dempsey, my old friend, but Weezer the band. This date, 2006, Murph tells us they had the #1 hit with Perfect Situation. That's not a bad song. It doesn't match the oldies, though. I'm sorry. I don't want to sound like one of these old farts, which I happen to be. Yeah. Not in the same category, sorry. Just what is. Bob Cordaro back with you on WILK. And Bill O'Reilly had a thing. I was talking about AP and the ABC News and how horrible they are. So he's got a little piece. He says, fresh off its failure to identify the mass killers in British Columbia and Rhode Island as trans people, they refuse to. The Associated Press has put out a hit piece on President Trump for honoring Black History Month at the White House. He says it's really hard to believe how ideological the AP has become. Its original mission was to report fact-based stories so Americans of all political persuasions could understand important situations. But he's right. They've devolved into left-wing bullspit. It's horrible. It is not news by any stretch of the imagination. Now, here's what they did. The news agency, AP now, they're supposed to be giving you the facts. They said Trump has no right to participate in Black History Month because his beliefs don't line up with AP's left-wing lunatic view of the world. That's my words. You remember at about this time last year, the AP was banished from the White House because of slanted reporting. It's just crazy. But the larger problem is the nation's largest news gathering operation is unfair and deceitful, and that's a fact. You are correct, Bill O'Reilly. They're actually embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing. So, I had a point I was going to next, but let's get to Razor in Peckville. Razor, how are you, my friend?
Good, how are you?
Great.
So, this country, this great country that everyone is trying to get into, the reason they're trying to get here is for the opportunity, not the guarantee, the opportunity to get a good education, get a good job, and make themselves as wealthy as they want to be. Okay? There has not been a president until Trump, ever, including and especially including Obama, because he did nothing for blacks. What did Trump do for blacks? And he actually did it in his first term. He increased in all of history of recording, and it wasn't just for blacks, but he increased decreased the unemployment rate of blacks to a historical rate.
Incredible record.
They had more jobs. They were making more money. What is the job of a president? To protect his people, number one. That has nothing to do whether you're white or black. And to make sure everybody lives their life that they want to be, which also has nothing to do with white or black. But he specifically went out and did certain things, and you heard it at that Black History Month speech that he gave when he brought on the people that he helped. You heard specifically the things that he did. But those are just anecdotes, and you can complain about that they're just anecdotes. But putting money into the black colleges forever instead of having them have to come to beg for money every how many years, that's a specific thing he did for blacks. Giving blacks the most employment opportunities that they ever had, which is more than you can ever ask for out of a country in this whole world.
By the way, we played Jesse Jackson commenting on Donald Trump and how much he had helped African Americans and blacks when he was a private citizen. Like, these people are insane. They need to turn their opponents into devils because they know deep down they are wrong about everything.
How can you call him a racist? That really irks me. Now, how about that grandmother who lost a grandchild, that said that Trump was the only one. Didn't come from any Democrat. She named it out. Don't get mad at me, Democrat. You didn't do it. This Republican guy did it. And don't get mad at me for saying that what the truth. My hair was standing on end listening to her speak.
Yeah.
It was. I thought she was going to break down and cry because of her grandson, but she held it together and really praised Trump. That's the true Trump, not what you hear from these Democrats.
Yeah.
And irks me.
Well, thank you, Razor. Always a pleasure. Appreciate it, my man. We've got to take a break. We'll hear from our great sponsors. Come back with our Veterans Tribute, the weather, a little ditty that I've arranged for you to hear, and then more. Somebody asking Victor Davis Hanson. I follow him on Instagram, and he's not well right now, but that's how I find him. We'll take a break and be back. It's the Bob Cordaro Show. Our Veterans Tribute this hour and every hour, this day and every day, brought to you by our friend John Basiliga and Basiliga Hospitality. And I would be remiss if I did not mention great people who provide me with Veterans Tributes from over the weekend and other times, like Joan Hodawanitz, a veteran's veteran, like Barney Smith from Wilkes-Barre, like Mike from Bloomsburg, like Joe Martin, like Jim Walsh. Thank you for that. And just received another batch today, thank God. Frank Chip Gilham. He was 91, beloved father. Passed away February 6th, surrounded by his family. Born in Lehighton. He was a member of St. John's Evangelical Lutheran Church, Hazleton. Graduate of Nesquehoning High School, class of 52. He was a Navy veteran, serving from 53 to 62. He won the National Defense Service Medal. After serving his country, he was employed at PPL and Bell Telephone in Hazleton. Preceded in death by his cherished wife, Mary Ann, in July 2020. They had been married for 62 years prior to her passing. He's survived by 4 daughters, 7 grandchildren, and many other family members, spouses, all that included. Frank Chip Gilham. Edward Lowe. We lost him February 2nd. Born in Staten Island, New York. He was the beloved husband of Kathleen O'Toole Lowe, with whom he shared 34 years of marriage. He was a devoted father to Aaron and Frank and to his late son, Edward. He was also a loving stepfather to Tara, Ryan, and Billy, and a cherished grandfather to Samantha, Courtney, Julia, and Jessica. Edward resided in Wallenpaupack Lake Estates for more than 22 years. He proudly served this country as a U.S. Navy veteran aboard the USS Shenandoah. He worked as an elevator mechanic with Local 1 for 40 years, a career he took great pride in. He enjoyed baseball, golf, lifelong interest in history, and cherished the time spent with his wife, children, and grandchildren. Edward Lowe. Our great veterans this hour brought to you by John Basiliga and Basiliga Hospitality Group, which includes the Old Brook Inn, the Far Street Tavern, the Queen City Tavern, a Terra 519 Stegmeyer Mansion, the Scranton Art House, the movie theater, and Sergei's Live, the nightclub. Storm Tracker 16 forecast from meteorologist Anthony Bordenero. All of it brought to you by our friends at Montage Mountain. They are the place for winter fun. Doesn't matter if you ski, if you snowboard, if you like the lodge like I do, and if you could rent a tent with a fire pit and have a blast in the outdoors. There's no better place for outdoor fun, winter fun, than Montage Mountain. Today, cloudy with a chance of a sprinkle, high 42. We're up to 38 outside the studios right now. Tonight, cloudy with fog likely, low 33. Friday, clouds with a mix of rain and ice in the morning, then changing to all rain, 41 degrees. Saturday, clouds with a few breaks of sun, 42 degrees. Sunday, cloudy with snow showers, likely 36 degrees. And that's your weather, brought to you by the great gang and all of the fun. Oh, they had a fireworks display, and they had a fireworks display beyond parallel last weekend. Unbelievable. There's always something happening at Montage Mountain. Thank you for bringing the weather. Three Doors Down. Murph says they released their hit, It's Not My Time, this date, 2008, and that's Wes Austin. I follow him on Instagram, too. He's just great. Bob Cordaro back with you on the program. Yeah, somebody says, I always thought your caller Clive reminded me of the demeanor of Victor Davis Hanson. It would be a bummer to lose VDH. William, you are so right. I love him. Absolutely love him. Somebody's pointing out you could also find a wealth of material on Victor Davis Hanson on YouTube as well. He's really just great. Just absolutely great. All right, let's get to the blower. We got to get a couple calls taken care of here. Jim from Harding. How are you, Jim?
Pretty good. No, I want to make is like the far left, they remind me of the Robins. You know how they come back in late February and March? There's a lot of far left Democrats coming back to the moderates. So the only thing I could think of, they either found religion. Oh, I forgot. Election's coming up. That's the answer.
I know. It's really disgraceful. Like
yeah.
we have the mayor of Scranton, Paige Cognetti, running for Congress. So she's a total left-wing lunatic on every issue. But she's going to lie and pretend she's not. So if you're not proud of your views, well, then there's something wrong with you. And by the way, you probably know they're wrong.
Oh,
so
yeah.
But these are just, I'm telling you, you can't be on the far left. You can't be on the left without being a liar and a hypocrite. You can't.
Okay, one more comment. I know this is going to sound cold, but I hope Donald Trump doesn't help Mandani there in New York City. Don't bail him out. Him and Yokel, they're destroying that state. Let them destroy it.
Yeah.
Let the people know what they voted in.
And between he and Hochul, the governor, I just feel sad for the people in New York. The worst leadership tandem. Well, wait. You got Pritzker and Brandon Johnson in Chicago and Illinois, respectively. Like, there are some really bad combinations. Oh, then we could go to Los Angeles and California. Yeah, well, we could go to Philadelphia.
Look at the election back in November when Cartwright, 2 months before that, he said him and 12 other Democrats sent a letter to the White House. You have to close that border. And the one that got me laughing is when I seen that ad where he's down by the 44 dike. Like this wall protects the valley from being flooded, so does our southern borders. Ain't that amazing? Just before Election Day.
I think it's disgraceful. Just look at either be a real person and defend your views, or change them if you know they're wrong. But we get neither from the Democrat Party right now. You know it. Thank you, Jim. Let's go to Bill from Pittston. Hey, Bill, how are you, brother?
Doing pretty good. Hey, I have two questions for you. First one is, what do you think of the situation in Iran now that we found out that the Russians had played war games with the Iranians, and we're sending, the aircraft? We got all that military in the area, and now the Russian addition to this, and bringing up all the past 30,000 people killed. Can Trump move, or will Trump move? What do you think he's going to do? And the second question is, what do you think of the Potomac poop brought out about by those left-wing DEI Democrat, one of the greatest not natural disasters, but environmental disasters in the history of our country?
First, on the first question, Bill, I think he will, because they're intractable. These are mentally ill religious fanatics that run Iran, and they think God is going to save them. Well, God isn't going to save them. And I think he's going to have to do it. But as I've been hearing from observers and reading from observers, it is going to be a sustained multi-week attack more likely than not. Not just one bombing raid that takes one night. So he's got to really weigh it, because the longer you're engaged, the more chance there is for a bad result or a bad byproduct. So he's got to really think it out. And I don't think he wants to, by the way. I really don't think he wants to willy-nilly use military assets.
I think he's held back as long as he could. He really did try the diplomatic way, but like you said, these Iranians are crazy, and he knows that. But
yeah,
I mean, it's he knows what he's doing, but that's you just not know what's going to happen with the Russian factor, and I can't see that Putin would get too involved, considering all the.
I'm not worried about
Ukrainians.
They've got their hands full with Ukraine. I don't think there'll be much involved. And we've shown over and over and over again, including most recently in Venezuela, that our technology, our people, our equipment is so much better than communist equipment, than Russian equipment, that he's only going to get embarrassed again.
Yeah, and I think Trump really has no choice, like you said. I know he's thought this out very clearly, but he has tried to wait to the last minute, but his reputation's on the line, too. Speaking of lines, like Biden's don't, and nobody, was worried about him. And then same thing with Obama. I mean, Trump is good to his word, but, it makes you sit on the edge of your chair.
I know. It's scary, and when there's Americans putting themselves in harm's way, and again, there's innocent Iranians who will get killed, not just scum, but it's a tough situation. As to Potomac poop, there are infrastructure issues throughout this country, and this is probably just one of them. But they've got this incompetent who was actually responsible and in charge of the water system in Flint, Michigan, when that went to hell. And he gets hired in Washington, D.C., but you have between the Maryland and their governor, who's got a great act, but he's awful and a left-winger, Wes Moore, and then you've got this mayor of D.C., you've got incompetence top to bottom. The feds are going to have to come in and fix this issue.
Isn't that a DEI hire too? I mean, I've seen implications that these were DEI hires, that they're totally incompetent, and for the Green Machine.
If you were anywhere near the water issues in Flint, Michigan, you should never get hired in that area. You should go be. Well, he's not capable of being a DPW worker, but I mean, I don't get it. You hire someone with that kind of track record and you expect good things to happen? My word.
Well, is he a DEI hire? That's what I heard.
Have no idea.
That's what I read.
Yeah, I don't have any idea. I mean, by the way, when the Democrats hire anybody, it's DEI is a major factor. So is he? Yes, guaranteed.
Yeah, well, I guess there's such a thing as karma.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, the rest of the country has to live with it. Thank you, my man. We've got to take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. We will return. This day, 2019, Murph says the Cage the Elephant had the number 3 hit with Ready, Let Go. Bob Cordaro back with you. We're going to finish today. Bob Seger with his first top 10 hit at number 10 with Night Moves back in 1977 this date. That'll wrap it for us. Bob Cordaro back with you on the program. Somebody said, did you take note in Gahan's monologue that he actually said the citizens in attendance were smart enough to understand basic policy? I guess when the audience is supportive of him, they don't need a civics class. Somebody else, Paige Cagnetti, telling everyone she's now a born-again centrist who wants a secure border, but never said a word to Biden when he opened up the floodgates. Instead, she put up Biden signs in support of him and his failed policies. Don't believe a word of these born-again Democrat centrists. Yes. Still true to left-wing lunacy. And it's, I'm telling you what, it will be an embarrassment to this area to when we've got a great freshman congressman, maybe one of the best ever as a freshman. And he'll only go further and further and do better and better for us, Rob Bresnahan. We love having he and Danny Muser representing us here in Northeast PA. We are beyond fortunate. My man Barney Smith, he sent in, he read Above the Law by Matt Whitaker. Matt Whitaker, the ambassador to NATO, former acting attorney general. And if he wrote it, it'll be a good book. He'll pull no punches. But he says, I feel the following people should be in jail: Hillary Clinton, James Comey, Andrew McCabe, Rod Rosenstein, Adam Schiff, Peter Strzok, Bruce Orr, John Brennan, Kevin Kleinsmith, Sally Yates, Andrew Weissman, Lisa Page, Loretta Lynch. And when you say and others, Barney, I say, what's that other goofy looking? He looks like a Star Wars character. Oh, the head of not intelligence, but National Security Agency. I'm blanking. You guys will fill in the blanks for me. But yeah, you're right. You are right, Barney. Oh, Lord. So, guys, you know I love being with you every day. Even those of you who have not learned or refuse to learn. We want to thank our sponsors, as always, Tina Morocco, Sotheby's International, Naples, Florida, serving Southwest Florida and all of Florida. Tina Morocco, MURACCO.com. Of course, our man John Basiliga, Basiliga Hospitality Group. Montage Mountain and the great Picardo's Jewelers. And a final mention. Guy we lost this week, or last week actually, Vince Marone. The shoe shine guy in downtown Scranton, and a fixture and beloved, and he was himself. That's probably why we love him so much. God bless. I won't. His funeral's Friday morning, so I won't be able to go. I'll be with you guys if I'm anywhere. But hey, I got to call Bob Parker. I got my Medicare card. I didn't get the. Did I get the card? I got my notification that I'm on Medicare, and so I got to get Bob Parker. You got to get him fired up to get my secondary coverage and all that. Find out what I need to do. Ooh, I'm happy I reminded myself. Hey, speaking of Picardo Jewelers, your G-Shock watch store, they tell me the time is noon, which means I got to go, and we've got to gavel to a close today's meeting of the Club for Common Sense. Have a great afternoon. God willing, I'll be with you tomorrow at this time again. Adjourned.